Well, hello there. It's the Ohio Ram Show coming to you from Ohio here. But we're not going to give you a lot of announcements and chit chat and all that kind of thing because this is a special report tonight from Australia with our good friend Sarah Matthews. And I know everybody wants to hear from Sarah, so we're just going to go right over to Sydney, Australia and say hi to Sarah. My goodness. As we used to say, my mother used to say, you don't look no worse for the wear.
Hi, how are you, Lee?
Oh, I'm wonderful, and I'm just so delighted to have you on here. And I know there's going to be an awful lot of people that are going to be excited to see you because there have been prayers and cares for you from around the world.
Yeah, and, I'm very aware of that.
And just by way of introduction, Sarah is a veteran of the Race Across America. 2000. Now, see if I get this right. 2014, you were on a mixed team, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Called the Aussies.
2015, you were on a all-girl team.
That's correct.
And Belarus, right?
Yep. Just like my T-shirt.
Well, we'll talk a little about the Belarus here in just a minute, but we're just so very delighted to have you here. So, Sarah. Tell us, I don't know whether you remember what happened, but as you understand it, what happened to put you in the hospital?
Well, I was about to compete in Austria in the 70.3 World Championships. So I was just out running with a friend, and literally a cyclist came on the running path and knocked me over. He was traveling 37 kilometers an hour, and I landed on the back of my head. I have no recollection. I was put in a coma. I was in hospital for 4 weeks, and I have no memory of that. And then I spent another month in rehab. So I've only been home for a week.
Now, somewhere I heard you were on a bridge, were you? Or is that a piece of misinformation?
No, it is a bridge. So it's called the Anzac Bridge. It just goes from one peninsula of Sydney across to the main city. And I run over there all the time with my brother and my running partner. So it's terrible what's happened. Hopefully the government's going to do something now about allowing bikes on the bridge because, obviously what happened to me is terrible.
Now, this isn't the famous Harbor Bridge that we see on all the postcards.
No, the Harbour Bridge has its own separate bike path. So Anzac Bridge is almost as famous as the Harbour Bridge. It's a beautiful bridge, but no, it's not the Harbour Bridge. It's called the Anzac Bridge.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got that straight. So can you tell me whatever you feel comfortable with, and we never ask anybody to share anything they're not comfortable with, what were your injuries and what treatment did you have?
So basically I had brain trauma. So I had, hemorrhage of the brain and I was unconscious. They had to keep me unconscious for 3 weeks. And I also broke my left arm, and they're the only major injuries. Oh, I had a bleed of my right retina as well. So I had eye trauma as well. So pretty horrid.
Now, did you have some surgery on your skull, or?
No, they basically just had to keep me under heavy, the blood pressure down in my brain. But no, they didn't have to do surgery on my brain, thank goodness.
Because the Sarah Matthews that I've always seen has this long, beautiful blonde hair, and
yeah,
it's all missing.
No, apparently I was growing dreadlocks while I was, under an anesthetic. I was growing dreadlocks, and in the end, they just had to shave it all off. But it's new. I'll live with it for summer.
Well, you're beautiful just the same.
Thank you.
And so we're just, I think everybody, as I told you before we went on the air, you've had prayers and cares from all over the world. And people, when I would share on my social media reports of your progress and what have you, I would get so many responses, from people, probably more than almost anything I've ever done. And we appreciate that. So now are you doing rehab now?
Well, I'm at home now, so I'm not allowed to go back to work until December, and I'm not allowed to train on a bike until December. But, I'm not really doing rehab other than that. I'm just spending time on the computer, spending time with friends. I've started running again, just very slowly for now. But, yeah, sort of rehab, but it's my own rehab. I don't have any professionals with me.
And I have a photograph. I think I'm going to get this video up real quick tonight, and I usually do a lot of editing and put some things to it. But I have this lovely photograph I just found of you with a horse. You know the one I mean?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's my career.
That's your career. I have a special affection for all veterinarians because I think, as I've said before, the only people, pet owners, love more than their pets are their veterinarians.
Yeah.
So, and I believe you worked in a clinic at night or something like that, didn't you? So you could train during the day, if I recall.
Yeah, sort of. So I'm a specialist in equine surgery. So I'm actually a specialist as a horse surgeon. But I don't do that anymore. So the only horse work I do now is with the RSPCA, the Royal Society for Protection of Animals. So I do some legal work with them, but essentially now I work in a specialist small animal hospital, and I work after hours. I either work evenings or I work overnight.
Okay, very good. Um, well, when I first contacted you, I was a little hesitant, I have to tell you, Sarah, to reach out to you because I wasn't sure how well you might be. I couldn't detect that from our from your posts and what have you. I thought you was doing okay, but you responded real quick and said you'd like to do this. But I was
Yeah.
most surprised when you said that you have Ram Race Across America 2016 in your gun sights.
Yeah, absolutely. I told the doctors, I said, I need two things from you. I need to know that I can go back to work in December, and I know that I'm allowed to race in Ram next year. And they've given me that. I mean, I'm pretty determined. I'm pretty motivated, but at the moment, that's the plan. We've registered, the Velaroos have registered. So hopefully, there's a few things. We weren't actually going to race as a team again next year because essentially we need to get sponsorship to pay to do it again because it's quite coming from Australia. But, you know, the girls now, having seen what I've been through, the girls are pretty committed. So, yeah, we're going to try it again if we can get some sponsors. And the great news is that a lot of the people that came to support us this year, our crew, are also going to come with us next year. The one thing that's changing is we're going to raise some money for a charity which basically deals with brain trauma. So we can actually give something back to the people that saved my life.
Do you have a website for a charity available?
As soon as we get one, we're going to send. We're actually at this stage. We're sort of making a plan because I've only been out of hospital for a week. As soon as we have that, I'll send it to you, and you can forward it on your show. We don't have it at the moment yet because we've just got to go through. We've got to go through our charity to, you know, just work all of that out. But we've got a plan. We know what we want to do. A, we need to get sponsors for ourselves, and B, we need to raise money for the brain trauma charity. But once we've got all that information, I promise you'll be the first person to hear of it.
Well, that's very, very close, Sarah, to this family because my wife suffered a brain bleed about 7 years ago, and we've learned a lot since then. Not only how traumatic it can be, but the remarkable thing, Sarah, is how the brain can recover.
Good.
It's just amazing. I mean, within limits, of course. But we saw Sonia's cognizant go from almost zero to you wouldn't hardly know that she had experienced anything like that. But anyhow, so you got your Velaroo there. You was showing me before we went on the air. Let's see. Is it a him or a her?
His name is Kevin. It's a him. He travelled right across America with our team this year. And then he came on stage and we won. So the Velaroos won this year. And then he's basically been sitting in hospital with me for nearly 2 months. And I've now got him at home. So he's going to come with me today.
Let's see.
See.
Show me Velaroo there.
There you go.
Well, hi there, Kevin. Goodness
His
sakes.
name's Kevin. I call him a Velaroo, but anyway, yeah. He's very special to me. He's living with me now. If any of the girls want him back, then it's too bad. he's staying with me.
I think you've earned him. I think you've earned him, Sarah.
I hope so.
Your team, is it the same team that you had last year?
Yeah, absolutely. The girls are just, they're my best friends. We just had an amazing race this year, and they've lived with me in hospital. I don't remember the first month, but I remember the second month. And no, they're just amazing. And I'm already meeting up with them socially. And I actually did a run with JA this morning. So one of the girls and I already started running again. I was supposed to compete for Australia in the World Championships with her. So obviously I couldn't go, but we live close together and we went running together, and I talk to them every single day. We're going to do this together.
Well, well, great. And I want to thank your brother Jim. Is it Jim?
Yeah, do you want me? I can introduce you to him as
Oh
well. I'm
yes,
in
if
his
he's close
office right
by.
now. Just
Get him
bear
over
with
here.
me. I'm going to just go. So you've talked to him, have you?
No, I haven't talked with him.
Okay, I'm going to just introduce you. Now, Lee wants to talk to you as well. I'll turn my camera around, Lee.
Hey,
Hey,
can't hear you.
Jim.
Hang on.
Hold on,
Uh,
hold on.
Jim, on behalf of all of the people who has following Sarah's progress, and I mean the trauma we all experienced when we heard she'd had this horrible accident, you kept us informed, and I tell you, it was greatly appreciated because, spread around the world and the social media, the only thing we've got really, we sit out here in the dark, and you kept us informed, and we really appreciate that, Jim. Thank you.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. You're absolutely welcome. It was amazing to see the amount of support that Sarah got from her teammates, but also all of her followers around the world. So, it was nice to be able to not only keep everybody informed, but also be able to see all of the comments that came back and all the amount of support that Sarah is getting. So I wanted to thank everyone in the RAM community as well for the amount of support that Sarah got throughout the recovery process. She's doing fantastically well now, as you'll know already from speaking to her.
And I see we got a viewer out there. Generally, we don't have too many people viewing live. Most people watch it on the archives on the website. But thank you for dropping in there, whoever you are. Unfortunately, I can't tell that from here. But well, thank you a lot, Jim and Sarah. Let's get back to you for just a second, and then we're going to shut this thing down.
Great. All right. Thank you.
Well, Sarah, thanks for being with us. Thank you so much.
No, my pleasure.
We'll be watching the Belarus, and I have to thank you too for that wonderful little clip you sent me for the Christmas or the holiday show. That was great.
Oh,
with your
good.
little dog, I guess, is one of your patients. And
yeah, absolutely.
And from all the people who love the race across America, we are just so delighted to see you doing so well. And from everybody who loves animals, thank you for what you do. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight from here and get on with other things. I'm off to Dublin, Ohio tomorrow because the Ohio Ram Challenge starts there, and I'll be covering there, doing some recording, and hopefully getting some good video footage that we'll put in a show later on. But it's going to be cold and raining and horrible. So you said you wished you were going to be here, Sarah. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, but Lee, on the way, so I'm really good friends with Rick, the race director. He and I drove the Belarus RV back to LA, and then I went up to Boulder and stayed with him for a while, and I plan to get up there again this year. So please give him a huge hi from me this weekend.
I will say hello to him, and I should say I followed you across country. I followed you. That was wonderful.
Oh, good. Oh, we had an amazing trip, so I can't wait to do that again this year.
You actually got to see America this time, didn't you?
Oh, it was beautiful. And all my support crew, none of them could drive the RV back this year. They didn't have enough time to do it next year. Good photograph. So, yeah.
Well, I have to say, I won't prolong this, but I knew you were looking for somebody to drive it back. And after you had made arrangements, I mentioned this to my wife, and she got sore at me. She says, well, why didn't you do that?
I know. I think everybody did. And when they all want to do it next year, I'm like, no, too bad. I'm doing it. It was so much fun.
Yes. I say when you're racing across America, you don't get to see a lot sometimes, but that was great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we're going to say good night here. But before we go, we just want to tell everybody you can find out all about the show at OhioRamShow.com. It's probably where you're looking at it now, maybe on YouTube or what have you, but you'll see this show and all the others we've done. Sarah, this is show number 100. Thank you again for being with us.
It's my pleasure. It's been lovely.
And with that, we're going to say good night.
It's a non-stop time trial from the West Coast to the East Coast of America. Our goal is to get under 7 days.
Don't be scared. Things will come up that shouldn't come up.
I think just anything small that can sort of magnify is probably the biggest issue.
Focus on the positive.
It's right on the edge.
Really good. It's hot. Very, very hot. Good. Tough.
A tide wheel on back of the car. Outside air temperature, 98 degrees Fahrenheit.
Eventually they get brain edema and can lead to convulsions and even death.
They are hurting, but they're hiding it well.
It's going to happen. But ideally that only happens once. Because that hurt.
Everything is temporary. So if I'm really suffering, I just try and tell myself that everything's temporary.
Blood pressure, pulse, weight, excellent.
Great ride, great ride. I guess every team's in the same position. They're all feeling the pain, so I think we're just handling it a little bit better and doing a little bit better than some of the other teams out there.
They'll want to rest, they'll be tired, their muscles are ache, their joints are aching, their backs are sore because they've been in the same position, and they've got to get up and do it all again.
Nail biting stuff. Who is going to get America?